My name is Elizabeth Keckley, and I used to be blind. I used to work at this place for people with visual impairments and other disabilities. In our workshop, we specialized in making clothing. Most of us workers were blind or visually impaired to some extent. There were also sighted people employed there who handled other operations that required vision. To be specific, I was legally blind in one eye and had zero sight in the other. The vision in my good eye was like looking through a drinking straw. I've never felt sorry for myself because of my blindness, but like anyone who is unhappy with some part of their body, I have always wondered what it would be like if I could see just a little better. For the most part, I learned how to work around my visual obstacles and got assistance with the ones I needed. One day though, my interest was piqued after hearing a radio ad for a new kind of eye drops that claimed to improve eyesight. I assumed it was for the person with moderately weak eyes, not for someone with a major condition like mine. But out of curiosity, I checked it out when I got home. Using the accessibility features on my laptop, I was able to navigate to the company's website, nanophileLaboratories.com. There were quite a few miracle products on the site that claimed to resolve a lot of common health issues as well as improve cosmetic beauty. I came across a testimonials page that featured a young woman who had used the eye drops to eliminate her need for eyeglasses. I had found what I was looking for. The name of the product was, appropriately, New Eyes. I made the purchase and 3 days later, it arrived in the mail. I tried them out, putting a single drop into each eye. There was a cool, effervescent sensation that made my eyes water. By the time the tears cleared away, so had my poor vision. The black periphery that I was accustomed to started to recede. Within a few hours, the hazy outer vision of one eye was gone, and the cast of darkness of my blind eye had cleared. By the time night fell, my vision had completely brightened. I was so excited at the new things that I could see, that I didn't want to go to sleep for fear that when I woke up they would be gone. I did eventually sleep. When I woke up the next day, my eyesight had improved to more than I had ever known. At work the next morning, I marveled at the little details of the workshop that I hadn't noticed before. I also found myself confounded at all the mistakes I kept making at my sewing machine. The increase in vision was throwing off my usual method of working with my fingers to feel the fabric. Instead of gauging the distance between my tools by touch, my hands kept running into them. I also found myself distracted by looking at my fellow blind coworkers, who were much more engrossed at their tasks than I was. After lunch, my boss came out with a report of my production numbers. They were bad. She asked if I was feeling ill and if I wanted to go home. I felt fine, but I took her up on the offer to leave. On the way to the bus stop, I paused to look at every little thing around me, causing me to miss the bus. I happily walked the 5 miles home. By early evening, the familiar tunnel of darkness slowly crept in, bringing me back to my normal scope of sight. According to the label on the bottle, results were guaranteed to last 24 hours with the promise of complete visual restoration with extended use. I used the eye drops daily for the next 6 weeks. The work at my sewing machine got better as I retrained myself to use my eyes and hands together to complete the pieces. I continued to take stock of my work environment and coworkers, who were unaware of my new ability to see. One day, I was looking around the studio and noticed my boss looking back at me from across the room. She raised a single finger and beckoned me over with it. I turned off my sewing machine and walked over to her. "Elizabeth, I notice your work has been getting better since last week." "Yeah, I've been more focused." "Yes, I see." She paused. "Do you?" "Do I, what?" "See?" "What do you mean?" "Do you see?" "Can you see me, Elizabeth?" "Yes, why?" My boss led me to her office, where there were 2 people sitting in chairs facing her desk. She told me to sit, so I sat in the 3rd chair that was nestled between them. The person to my left was a Social Security disability agent. The person to my right was the disability attorney representative for the workers at the studio. We spoke in the office for about an hour. At the end of the meeting, I was given two choices: pack up my things and quit, or be escorted off property while an investigation began. The second offer came with the opportunity to appeal, along with the threat of legal action for fraudulently receiving disability benefits and resources for disabled persons. I packed up the few personal items from my work locker and left. I didn't go home. Instead, I went to the museum, a place I used to love to visit as a girl when my sight and my good eye was much better. I walked around the exhibits taking in all the beauty of the art until the museum closed. Then I went out to the bus stop to sit and wait for the arrival of my transportation home. My eyes glossed over with tears as I wondered what sights the next day would bring me.